Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this hair in Hexagon. I'm going to show you how to get the basic shape, then we're going to probably do some detail work and make the bangs which are separate and the sideburns that are separate. This will probably be in a set of series, and this is going to be the first set of how to make the basic shape. Then maybe we'll go into making the sideburns and maybe some detail. But for this to work, I'm using a utility tool, and I'm going to be using this utility tool to switch me back and forth from Hexagon to ZBrush. And the utility tool right here is you can go to the free zone, and it's called Bridge App. And I'm going to give you a little demonstration how that works here in just a second. If you haven't been to my site, it's case sensitive on the text here, so make sure it's all spelled correctly with uppercase and lowercase. You can usually Google it. I'm under easy tutorials. I don't think I spelled it right, tutorials, but anyway, I think Google's will pick it up for you. Then you can check out the free app and the Bridge app I meant. And I have lots of free stuff up here that you can look through, and some donation videos if you're wanting to learn Hexagon, and if you're kind of new. I got like almost 4 or 5 years experience, and this could help you out if you're willing or wanting to learn how to use Hexagon. And I go over quite a few things and quite a few hours of information. I'll get you up and running from anywhere from a beginner to anybody that's maybe intermediate or advanced. So with that said, let's go ahead and we'll start up. This Bridge app is already started up, so let me go ahead and load Hexagon. Alright, I got Hexagon loaded, and I'm just going to tap a hotkey, and it's going to send me over to ZBrush real quick. And for this to work, we're going to use ZBrush R3, and I don't think the older versions got this, but if you go under the tools, then geometry, and you scroll down and it says mirror and weld right here, if you ain't got that, this is probably not going to work, and this is going to save us a lot of time here. So make sure that you're going to need this here. So we'll tap the F1 key, it switches F1, it's back and forth, very simple. So that's going to speed things up for us. I do pause the video when I'm setting things up to speed the video up, but anyway, here's the command viewer. If you need to follow along, for some reason I forget to say something, and you're wondering what I'm doing at the time that I'm doing it and I don't say it, it'll pop up here in the command viewer. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the sphere here, and I'm just going to left click it and drag it down here like this, let go. Then I'm going to go ahead and tip this back, and I'm going to remove this top piece here. For right now, these are all triangles, and which I don't want. That's one reason. And the other reason is when I'm going to be using the edge tool. When these are all I'm going to be using the edges all the way down here, all the way around it, and it's going to cause a problem at the top here, so I'm just going to remove it right now because it could get quite messy, and then it's a little bit harder to clean up, so this makes it a little bit easier. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to activate the transparency down here on the right. This is going to let me select the front and the back of the polygons, and that means the front side and the back. Right click and drag, and I'm going to delete this here. Alright, now I'm going to select the edge here. Let's turn the transparency back off, and I'm going to these edges here, I'm going to go ahead and extrude these edges in a way that's going to make these this high rise in this hair, and some of it you can see some of it's got like an insert and some of it's kind of high, but I don't have that many polygons, so I'm not going to be able to get that many hair bumps on the top. It depends if I want to have a lot or not. If I decide that I want a lot of them, what I need to do is at this time I need to probably go over to the subdivision, press 1, then use the dynamic geometry lightning bolt down here and collapse it, and this is going to add some more polygons. Now, I don't want to do that right now. This is something you can do in your spare time and mess with it. And you're not always subjected to making just this type of hair. You can do all kinds of stuff. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and select the edge down here, the original one we started with, and need to move this down here, and we're going to have this, we're going to ring this, and we'll move this down again. I'll just move this down here. We got this 1 over n here. We'll set it to 2. This is going to skip every edge right here. Alright, and at that time I'm going to go ahead and loop it. And I'm not, when I extrude it, most people think they use a hotkey to extrude, but I'm going to do just, I'm going to scale it out with this yellow cube. I'm going to extrude it this way, kind of like this. Okay, I'm going to go in the front view, and I'm looking at the top here. I want to kind of flatten that back down where it's supposed to be. Just kind of eyeball it. Don't have to be perfect. And if you want to get kind of perfect, you can do all kinds of stuff. I'm going to go in orthographic view and just kind of eyeball it where I think it should go. Alright, now when I subdivide it, let's go back out of orthographic. When I subdivide it, okay, you can see it's got raised bumps, but it's kind of like this hair, but these are pretty, they're not as sharp as the one that's on the head. And I'm going to go ahead and move the subdivision back down. And I'm going to use the edge tool, and when I use this edge tool, we'll go over to vertex modeling, and I'm going to use this one here, this one down, the second one from the end, extract fillet. And when I move this across, you can see the blue one, the ones that are blue, and when I move it, I do not want to touch the black one next to it on either side. I can get close, but I don't want to touch it. It could cause problems later. So it depends how, you know, I want to. Let's go right here and let go. Alright, and you can see it made it a little bit harder, but still not as hard as this one here. Now there's all different ways I could have did this in one shot, or I can just kind of mess with it. Alright, so let's go ahead and try the second one. Alright, now I'm going to pull it apart, and the closer I stick to the original edge that I'm pulling from, it's going to be a little bit harder. The further away I get, the softer it's going to get. Another thing is, do not touch the black line. I can get close to it, but don't touch it, because it could cause problems later. And we'll subdivide that and take a look. Alright, that's not too bad. I kind of like that. I need some strands. I need a little bit of high rise in the middle of these big old clumps. Okay, not a problem. So what I'll do is these are the little inserts here, so I'll select here, and what I'll do is I'll do the ring option again, and I'll move this, and I'm going to keep an eye, and I want to try highlighting all the inserts here, and we'll just keep on selecting, and when they all highlight like that, and we're going to loop it, and we're going to keep an eye on this top piece here so we don't over exceed this. And this time I'll use this split one here. Alright, and I'll not touch the other one or get close, and I can extrude it by this little, or scale it right here. I want to get a front view look, because the more I scale, you can see if I scale it, it goes way to the top here. I want to bring this back down a little bit level here. Alright, now let's take a look at this here. Let's get some subdivision. Alright, I want to go ahead and I need to extrude that a little bit more. It's not showing up. Just extrude that just a little bit more here. Alright, we got a couple of lines in there. That's alright, not too bad. Like I said, you can experiment with this, so, and you're not always subjected to making just this type of hair. Alright, now the further extrusion, the further, you're going to have a lot of depth and a lot of inserts. So you got to decide how far do you really want to extrude this. Is this too much extrusion or not? Well, anyway, we could just, this is going to be experimenting around. Okay, now I need to look how the hair on the side here, it goes from top here, and it sways and it follows the contour of the head sort of, and back here. Same way with this side. So how are we going to do it with this thing here? Well, we need to finish this top piece off here. Alright, we're going to close this up. We're going to loop this. Alright, I need to flatten this circle out a little bit better, and you can grab this little green cube, which is the y-axis, and if you look at this box, first one's X, second one's Y, third one's Z. And watch the second one when I move this cube up and down. This is the y-axis. We need to zero that out. That'll flatten that straight up and down. Press enter. Then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to hold the control key, and I'm going to grab this cube and drag in and pull up. Hold the control key and do that one more time. Then pull up. I just only did that once, and this time I could probably weld this, but that's not a problem. I'm going to close all this up without welding these points, and this will still keep it all quads. And I can do that by keeping ratio here. Click this box here and just set any of these boxes over here to 0, and that's going to close that up. Alright, so let's take a subdivision look at it. Alright, not too bad. Alright, now we're going to sit this back down, and we need to get the shape of this way it's flowing here. So we'll go to utilities here, and we're going to use this option right here. It's under the taper, and if you look down, there's one called twist. Alright, we're going to select that. Alright, now there's options that you can switch down here for the twist and which axes, and it does matter if you want to twist from the top or the bottom of the hair. Okay, let's take a look, and I'm going to twist. That's the bottom of the hair. Now if I control Z that and do the top, that's the top of the hair. And it depends what how much you want to twist on it. We'll validate that. Just take a look at the subdivision. Alright, now I want you to look at something. I'm going to go ahead and scoot this one up just a little bit ahead here. Alright, now it's starting to get the flow. I mean, I could go more. It's just kind of dragging a little bit. It doesn't have the flow of this other one. It's kind of not as sharp, so what I'll do is control Z that, and we'll do that again. Not a problem. We'll just go a little bit further. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at this right side, and I'm matching the right side of this hair. I'm not looking at the left side right now, and I'll explain why I'm not doing that. I am looking at the right side of this box, this hair that I'm grabbing, and the right side of this hair over here, or looking at the right side of that hair. So grab the top of the box. I need to twist it in the angle like this. Alright, does it got enough to it? Let's go a little bit more. Just take a look. Alright, probably won't want to over exceed it too much, and we'll subdivide it. Alright, that's looking a little bit closer. Now the right side matches. Now if I switch over to the left side, look how it's flowing. Okay, it's flowing towards the front of the face. It should be flowing towards the back like this other side. Alright, that's when we're going to use ZBrush to do that. We could do it in this program, but it takes a lot of fidgeting to do, and you could probably do it with Boolean and cut this in half and mirror it, but we're going to use ZBrush to make it a little bit easier. And another thing is, now that it's flowing this way, maybe let's say I want it to change directions towards the bottom. Okay, not a problem. We'll tone this down just a little bit here. Then we're going to go ahead and select the point mode and go back to transparency. Right click and drag this lower half. Turn the transparency back off. And we're going to use the twist. Alright, now I'm going to twist in the other direction of the bottom box. Alright. So it was going this way. Let's see. We'll cockeye it back this way a little bit. Take a look. So you can get a lot of twisting action going on here, so that's not too bad. Always good to save your work as you're going along. Alright, I'm going to send this over to ZBrush, and as long as it's only going to export what's visible, so if I just go ahead and hide this character here, that won't be sent over. Next thing is, I got a subdivision 3 here, and I don't want to send all the subdivision over to ZBrush because we're going to do some mirroring over here and to fix this one side. So we'll remove the history by this arrow, or we could press up here. I like doing it down here. And then we're going to send this over to ZBrush, and we're going to file export as OBJ test hair-part-002. We'll just overwrite that. Okay, yes. Alrighty, then press F1 on the keyboard to get over there. File, import, and we'll import that hair there. It might not show up, so what you need to do is press the F on the keyboard on ZBrush to frame it in. You notice I'll go ahead and turn my color here, because if you look at my two cursor here, I got the X symmetry on. One's on right here on the mesh, and the one's way off to the side. I don't know if you can see it in the video. And another thing is, when you bring something into ZBrush, you automatically want to make it a Polymesh 3D. Makes things work a lot better. And you can see my symmetry is off, and you can turn that back on by the transform and activate it, and you can see the X symmetry. See, it's still off. I got the one on the right, and it should be on the the one on the left cursor should still be sticking to the mesh, but it's not. It's over on that canvas. And to fix that, we're going to go down to deformation. We are in the tool palette, deformation, and we'll press unify here. We're going to unify this, press F key again, and there we go. Now we got our matching cursors on each side, so the X symmetry is working. As we are in the tool palette, we're going to go down into the geometry, and there's going to be an option down here, mirror to weld. It's got an X axis. I'm in the X axis. I know that because my cursor is in the X axis, and the transform tells me I'm in the X axis. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mirror and weld in the X axis. Alright, there we go. And we're going to go and scale this down, and I know if I flip this around, it's going to be hidden in the back, so we need to just go down to the display properties and show on doubles here, so we can kind of see both sides here. Alright, we're going to clean this up in Hexagon one more time. Go ahead and we'll use file export, and we'll send this back over here, overwrite the previous one. Then we're going to go ahead and press the F1 on the keyboard. Alright, file open, and we'll just go ahead and get that OBJ in here again. Now when I subdivide this, let's go ahead and let's bring this up a little bit here. It's kind of small, I think, because when I exported it. We'll fix that later. Alright, now if we look here, I'm kind of decide where is the front of the head and where is the back of the head. I mean, I kind of like, actually the back side I would like to have it facing this way. I'm going to hold the shift key so it snaps in there. Alright, I got so much hair in the front here, it doesn't go down this far, so what I'll do is I'll give it like one subdivision because it's got little creases here, and it'll pull them apart so I can see what I'm doing. So I'll go here and I'll loop this, loop it again, and find out. Oh, right about there, it looks good. I'm going to press the delete key, and it split this mesh. It's actually almost in two parts, but typically it's not. So if I can select anything in the front here, one polygon, then I'll hold the shift key on the left side of the keyboard, and on the numpad on the right, just hold the plus sign down, just keep it held down, and you can see it highlighted where it was split apart, and we're going to delete that right there. Alright, now we're kind of getting somewhere. Let's activate the cemetery here, and we're going to go ahead and pull some of this up and out a little bit. So what we'll do is select, let's say here, and let's give this a little bit of soft selection here. That way when I pull the mesh to the front a little bit, kind of everything goes with it. Alright, not looking too bad. Let's subdivide that up a little bit better and take a look. Alright, and that's not looking too bad, and we can do a lot of tweaking in ZBrush to smooth some of this out and fix it. And another thing is, we're going to go ahead and select some edges here. Go down to subdivision 1, and we're going to loop it. We're going to go down here, select the back edge because it didn't loop all the way around, and we're going to go ahead and scale this in just a little bit, not a whole lot. And I'm going to hold the control key down, grab this cube, scale in just a little bit here, let go, and the control key still held down, and pull the control key, or hold the control key down and click. And we'll kind of need to extrude up, so hold the control key one more time, and we're going to kind of bring it up to the top here a little bit. I'm going to poke it through the mesh so we can kind of see what's going on. And as you can see, when I subdivide it, I want to subdivide it and barely poke it through the mesh to the top. I'm kind of, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I don't know if you can see in the video. I'm going to poke it through here and scale it in. This ain't going to be seen, but I kind of, when you put it over the top of the head, I don't want to be able to, I want to have it look like it have a little bit of thickness to it, okay? Bring it right here. I might need to do the control key one more time. As long as the blue is not poking through like that, then we're fine. Okay. Now we're starting to get in shape of the hair. It's got a little bit of ribs, and we can, you know, send this back over to ZBrush. We'll go ahead and file import. And we forgot to save that, didn't we? I think we did. Let's go back to low subdivision level. I think I got ahead of myself on that one. I thought I saved it. Could be wrong. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. Of course, we'll make this, it didn't show, but we'll make this a Polymesh 3D anyway. Then press the F key on the keyboard, and we'll go ahead and scale that back a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and subdivide it, take a look at how it would look in ZBrush a little bit. And you get a lot, you can get a lot of polygons and a lot of detail work, and I'll probably be going over this in the second part. I don't know if I'll be using this hair here, and you can see how nice that looks. And in my next part, if I probably will not connect it to this video, so this will be a separate video on making hair. But anyway, I'll probably show a few examples here in just a second towards the end of different types of hair. That one don't look too bad. It's got a nice flow to it. Got one going off to the right and one going off to the left. Alright, I paused the video, and I kind of made this other one. It's got a little bit more ribs in it. I made it kind of long in the back. And basically what I did is I started out with the same sphere, cut the top and bottom out. Then I took half of it on the sphere and just grabbed half the edges and pulled down. Then I went ahead and added more subdivision. I added to number 1, then I collapsed to DG, which gave me more polygons to this one here. And I went with the ribs over here on this one here. Pulled out, I actually did it almost the same way as I did the other one. And then I twisted it. Alright, we'll take a look at that. As you can kind of see right there. And like I said, when you export it, you want to you might want to export at the lower subdivision level, and ZBrush has got a way to fix this if in some cases, and in some cases it's not. So let's just get back over and take a look. I've already got it preloaded up, and here's the hair here. I got my symmetry back and everything, and ZBrush thinks better when it's, you know, when it doesn't have so much geometry. And we got here at 8,660 poly counts. And if you go down, and we're in the tools still, and if we go down to the geometry, and then we got reconstruct subdivision, sometimes this works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes you got to set up the UVs, but I'm not going to get into that. Or sometimes if you go down to one of the poly options, I think it was poly paint, then you enable this and enable your UVs. But anyway, I think the enable UVs that fixes it, but I think this will work for this. So remember, we got 8,680, and we're going to go into this reconstruct. We're going to click it once. I can see something just happened right there. Let's go ahead and reconstruct again, and reconstruct until it says it's canceled. It says the mesh contains some triangles here. Okay, let's Control Z that back a step. Let's go right about there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and use the mirror option. And we go to geometry, we are in the X, and we're going to mirror that. And you'll see we got this error, so we need to delete any subdivision level. So we will delete the high, and then we'll go ahead and choose mirror and weld. Alright, let's take a look around here. Let me scale this back a little bit so we can see. And it's not looking too bad. And another thing that you can do is if it is too smooth for you, okay, when I subdivide it, if it's, you know, if it's still too smooth for you, we can smooth this out here in the back. It's just got too many little bumps for me right there for right now. I can get into that later. If you want it more bumpier, what we can do is we'll go ahead and set this back down like where it was at, and just pretend we didn't have any subdivision level. So we'll just go ahead and delete the high. We're select new layer. This is the new layer here. This is not the layer is up in this layer palette here, and we're going to subdivide this to, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll set this back down. You can see we jumped in. As I getting back before, I'm down at 2,432, and remember it was 86 last time. But anyway, that was, I just want to bring that back up. Then we're going to slide this to the negative. Slide it again. As you can see, now it's starting to get bumps here. And what I'll do is at this time make a polymesh 3D, and we'll turn the double back on here. As you can see, now they're kind of raised up a little bit more. Now we can send this back over into Hexagon for some more cleanup. But let's just take a look at this subdivision. All right, nice. We got some, some nice stuff. This one here, the hair is going to be pointing towards the face, and kind of like a girl's hair, and instead of away. So, like I said, you can make different kind of hairs. And I want to try. Let me see if I can add some thickness in here right now. Here's another way that you can do this. What we need to do is we'll go ahead and delete the high here. We'll go down to let's see, that would be morph targets, store morph targets, deformation, and then what we need to do is we need to inflate this. Alright, inflate it again. Alright, then we go to create diff, and we go back on the tool palette. It should say something diff up there. Morph diff. As you can see, it's got a little bit of thickness to the edge there. Just take a look at here. But you know, we're going to double up the polygons. That's one way that you can do that. So now, like I said, we can. I'm not going to do any tweaking here. I mean, if you wanted to soften this up in this area with a soften brush and kind of smooth that out, and we can, you know, do stuff like that. But like I said, in this video, I'm probably not going to be doing all that stuff, so I'll just do a little bit in the front here just to show you. As you can see there, that we start to get some shape in the hair here. Then in my next video, we'll go ahead and go over some of the fine detail, but I think this is going to get it. And like I said, this is kind of like a girl's hair. The hair is pointing to the front of the face. I could send it back over to Hexagon, or actually maybe just pull it up here by using the move option here, and that would be under move. Right click and drag here, and I want to work with my cemetery on. You can kind of drag it up like that. You kind of got to make your draw size kind of big when you pull something up here. Then you can kind of reshape the hair like that if you want to do it in ZBrush. Let's take a look at some of these different materials here. That one don't look too bad, and let's take a look at this one here. But anyway, I think this is going to wrap it up on this part, and I will be making another video to finish this off. And you know, more subdivision, a little bit smoother it's going to get. But anyway, I think this is going to call end this one to a close here, and thank you very much.